Hey, guess what, guys? I fixed my webcam. All I had to do was restart my laptop completely, and now the webcam works again. So, let's go ahead and dive into the Q&A. Kayla Terranitz comments, BSP, here's a question for 15K. How long did it take you to make just one episode of TSM? That depends on the length of the TSM episode, the complexity of the animation, and the length of the script as well, or how much dialogue there is. So yeah, sometimes it can take a week or two, sometimes it can take just a few days, sometimes it takes God knows how long, so most of the time it takes a week or two, or kind of like in between that range. But again, it depends on the length and complexity of the episode that I'm actually making, so yeah. T-Bolt Siren Lover 1003 commented, Hey BSP, for your 15,000 subscriber special I have two questions for you. How did you get your Papercraft Thunderbolt Siren to rotate? And two, have you seen my videos of my homemade sirens and my giant Model 5? The little paper Thunderbolt was, it rotates using just a little paper clip that's jammed. I demonstrated this in one of my earlier Q&As. I don't remember which Q&A it was, but I demonstrated this in one of my earlier Q&As. There's a paper clip jammed up into the where the chopper tube is, like the paper chopper tube model that's filled with hot glue, and that just sits inside where it pokes into where the rotator box is, and then it can just rotate freely if I move it with my hands. And yes, I have seen your giant Model 5. I was kind of half expecting like a real Model 5 until I saw the video. It was just a paper Model 5, but that's, yeah. Yes, I did see that, and I also saw some of your little paper sirens as well. Snowcube commented, Hey BSP, I found your house. What? You know, my game even put a Google Maps link too. Hang on, I better check this out. Make sure he hasn't found my actual address. Don't want him trying to find me or track me down or anything. Google Maps, come on, load. The Google logo is taking a while. Up. Come on. What? Ow! Okay, I see what to do here. This isn't my house. BSP Productions is it's completely different thing. It has nothing to do with my YouTube channel. In fact, it doesn't even have anything to do with sirens. This BSP isn't even in the state that I live in. This is in Texas, in Beaumont, Texas to be exact, and I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. But anyways, on to the next question. STM1, question for 15,000 sub special. What animation software do you use? I use Microsoft Movie Maker, or Windows Movie Maker, and Microsoft Paint. I draw the frames, frame by frame, in Microsoft Paint, then I add them into Movie Maker and make them play back frame by frame. It's Simons commented, back up your computer. I do that already. I have a flash drive in here that every time I make a Tornado Siren Madness episode, it goes on here. And the reason I do use the flash drive is I used to use it to save things on the hard drive, but my hard drive is almost full, so I just save TSM on this flash drive now that my hard drive is near full. I've only got, hang on. I only got 4.22 gigabytes left on my 465 gigabyte hard drive on this thing. So yeah, the computer's starting to run out of space, and probably going to have to either get an external hard drive or just keep getting flash drives. This one, I think that one's this one's a 32 gigabyte flash drive. Alvin Wynn commented, do you play guitar? No, I do not, but I did used to take piano lessons when I was a bit younger, but I kind of gave up on that after a while. I mean, come on, I got Mixcraft, I got MIDI, I got a computer, I don't need to learn how to play real instruments. I got all the synth instruments that sound pretty realistic right here. I mean, Cage of Love didn't have any real instruments in it at all. It was all synthesized with Mixcraft, all computerized. Even my voice, which was technically real, was heavily auto-tuned and edited and compressed and everything to make it sound somewhat good. So yeah. Random Crap commented, that Port 2001, you should give it a better motor. Yeah, the Mini 2001 motor wasn't bad. You can see it working in one of my earlier Q&As a bit better, but I think this time around when I tested it and it sounded all sick, I think that was due to the collector rings. Because if the collector rings get dirty or oxidized enough, the motor will hiccup even when the rotation is off. Gone with the Wind commented, can you make Mega Blaster Jr. play Love is Blue? Yes, technically I can. I can probably hook that MP3 player up to the amplifier on the Mega Blaster Jr. And make it play Love is Blue. Probably wouldn't be very loud though, because Mega Blaster Jr.'s amplifier chip probably still needs to be replaced, but also uses crappy speakers, but whatever. But I think music sounds better being played on a non-rotational siren rather than a rotational one, so I'm not going to be playing chimes over the Mega Blaster Jr. outside anytime soon. Those are going to be staying on the Mini beside with Sim. That doesn't mean I won't ever test the Mega Blaster Jr. outside, it just means I most likely won't play any chimes over it outside. So, yeah. But of course, if I were to test the Mega Blaster Jr. outside, I'd have to, like, take it down from the banister, the 2x4 it's mounted on and everything, and take the controls down from the walls. It'd be kind of a tricky process to get that Mega Blaster Jr. outside and then get it remounted after I'm done with it. So that's why I haven't ever tested it outside yet, because it's actually fixed to the banister while the other sirens are just on stands and I can easily bring them outside and inside. So, yeah. Brian Schlipp Jr. commented, hi BSP, I got 3 questions for 15,000 subscribers. From the Spoiled Siren or whatever it was, yes, this episode was Spoiled Siren, what was that sensor design for? It was because Tri-Blaster flipped him off, that's what the sensor design was. Does Mini Basai get collector rings yet, or is it still a work in progress? Only rotational sirens, well, most of them, have collector rings. The non-rotational or stationary sirens, like the Bosai Musen, the Modulator, 2T22, mostly just omnidirectional sirens, those don't have collector rings because they don't rotate. So the Mini Bosai Musen is not going to get collector rings because it's not going to have a rotator. So, yeah. And from Meet Storm Alert and MA50, I noticed that one of the sirens does high-low, but when Whalen 1004, was that a new siren to the Tornado Siren Madness? Yeah, 1004's first appearance, I believe, was on Storm Alert and MA50's first episode, so yeah. Ryan Christopher commented, can you make a one-port air raid siren? That is physically impossible because a one-port siren, half of it would be closed and the other half would be open. So therefore it'd be really, really, really off balance and it wouldn't be able to blow any air and it just wouldn't work. So the lowest amount of ports you can have on an electromechanical siren or any mechanical siren is 2 ports. That's as low as you can go and it's still being balanced. So yeah. But yes, there can be one port in the stator though, because that's how it is with the Thunderbolt, the Hurricane, the Tri-Blaster. Each stator has only one port and the sound just comes out of that port and then out the horn that the stator port is attached to. So the chopper can't have just one port, but the stator can have one port if you want it to. The sound will just come out one port if the stator had only one port. So yeah. Nancy Hughes commented, I'm assuming the siren you're 3D printing is the canister. Note, this is a Q&A question. No, that wasn't the canister. It was this, after spray painting, obviously. It is a Tornado Siren Madness desktop figurine. Or you can probably display it in an entertainment center or put it in the background like what I did over here. As you can also tell, I made a Thunderbolt one as well. So yeah. And of course it's been spray painted too. So yeah, these are just the 2 Tornado Siren Madness figurines I've made so far. I'm making one of Vortex next, but my 3D printer apparently doesn't like Vortex because the print is already warped a bit, so it's probably not going to come out as good as if I were to reprint it and maybe calibrate it a little bit better to get the Vortex to come out a little bit better. And then maybe I'll do EOWS 612 next, but I'm starting to run out of white materials, so the chances of me making one of each character like that is pretty unlikely. So yeah. Neil Prasad 1905 commented, how loud is this siren in decibels? He's talking about the new siren, which I will now show you the decibel rating, and then I will announce the winner of the name drawing for the siren. There's actually 2 winners. Here's how loud the siren is in decibels. And the winner for the siren names comes from users Nancy Hughes and Neil Prasad 1905. Nancy Hughes says, "Ooh, how about the SPS/storm protection sirens? Enter decibel rating here." Since the decibel rating is about 78 decibels at 10 feet, because it kind of averaged out there. It was like, as it wound up, it was kind of like 80 decibels, and then it kind of went down to like 76, but I'm feeling that if I left it on for a feing seconds longer, it probably would have cleared like 78 decibels at 10 feet. So, have it be, I'm just going to say it's 78 decibels at 10 feet. And Neil Prasad commented, "I can name it Screech because of the high-pitched sound. That's why I call it Screech. I'm going to call it the SPS Screecher. So it's either going to be SPS 78 or Screecher 78. It'll be kind of like the Luden Master Blaster, how it has two names. The Luden ES 2000, I think is what it is, / Master Blaster. So this siren, the Screecher, is going to be the SPS 78 / Screecher or Screecher 78. They're probably just going to call it the Screecher. So that's the name. That's the new name of the siren with the chimney cap as its outer enclosure. And Thomas Castellanos Arroyo commented, "Nice Auld Lang Syne instrumental. Can you reuse it on a New Year's episode, maybe?" I am thinking about playing the Toa Melodix ML1000 version of Firefly Light, shortened version, because the full version goes on for like 3 minutes. Maybe on New Year's Day, with Mini Beside Me Saying, kind of like I did with 4th of July with the Star Spangled Banner. I'll probably maybe do Firefly Light or Auld Lang Syne, because for some reason the Japanese call Auld Lang Syne Firefly Light, or either that or Google Translate's not translating it right. Because every time I translate the Japanese character sequence for Auld Lang Syne is what it seems to be playing. When Melodix Visit plays Auld Lang Syne, whenever I Google Translate it, it always says Firefly Light. So I'll be playing the Firefly Light or Auld Lang Syne chime on Melodix ML1000. Obviously recorded from YouTube because I don't have a Melodix yet, but yeah. I'll probably play it, maybe I'll play it on the Mini Beside Me Sin outside right at midnight of New Year's Day. And also hope that 2021 doesn't turn out as bad as 2020 did. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made those chimes, that Auld Lang Syne chime you heard at the end of the episode Tornado Star Madness Summer Fun. This is a keyboard from my early childhood. Now if I set it on organ mode and start playing Auld Lang Syne or Firefly Light on it, it will sound quite similar to that sound. So you can kind of see where it's going there. So what I did is I wired the speaker. Let me turn this off. I wired the speaker output. I took this thing apart. When I originally did, some of these keys weren't working right. Like I had to press down some of the keys really hard to make them register. So I took it apart and cleaned the contacts. And then I thought, hey, maybe I should find a way to sample the sounds, all the notes from all the instruments from this thing, which took a long time, by the way, but it was worth it in the end, to sample these into Mixcraft so I can make professional or at least good sounding music with more than one instrument on this thing at once. So what I did is I took this apart, I wired up the speaker output with some resistors to reduce distortion to the microphone / line input on my old eMachines computer because my microphone input on this laptop doesn't work anymore. After sampling all the notes into the Audacity program on my eMachines computer, I took those files, put them on a flash drive, and then put them on my laptop, and then sampled each note by painstaking note, into a Mixcraft sampler several times. And after doing that like 8 times, because there's 8 different instruments on here, and I haven't done it with the 4 sounds here, but I might do that at some point. After sampling all the blue button instruments, because there's 8 of them on here, I was able to make some rather cool songs with the Cool Toys keyboard, because that's what it is. Cool Toys electronic keyboard. Even says so right here on the handle. So yeah. And I was able to make some rather interesting sounding covers of songs with the Cool Toys Keyboards line of synth instruments. So right here we have, I'm going to show you some previews of the songs I've made so far with the Cool Toys Keyboards sampled sounds and notes. When you play a note without recording it, it has like a coast down. But if you record it and then play it back, so you hit a note, and then when you hit play, it kind of drones on for a while. So when I sampled the notes on my computer, what I did is I played it note by note really slowly like this. I'm going to only play like 5 notes because if I went through all this at once, it'd take like several minutes. So I'm just going to do like 5 notes. So now when I play that back, you can hear that each one droned on, and I just sampled each one of those notes, note by note, in Mixcraft and made songs with it. So now if I play, now I can only play one note at a time on here, so if I try to play 2 notes at once, see it just kind of cuts over to another note, and it does that when you play it back too. So with Mixcraft, I'll be able to actually play multiple notes at once on my computer. It's not like I can hook this thing up to my computer using like a MIDI thing. I hooked it up using the speaker output so I could just sample the notes. And then I could actually use Mixcraft to sort of make it so I can make it sound like it played more notes than once, kind of hard to explain. So basically I just directly wired the speaker output from my keyboard to my computer so that way there's no background noises or static or anything. But if I play Firefly Light here, or Auld Lang Syne, just single note, it'll sound kind of like that one at the end of that one TSM episode, Summer Fun. Some keys were stiffer than others, so I had to kind of push D twice to get to play. So let's go ahead and hit playback. Like, I really got to kind of push down the D key, but it even has a bit more stiffness to it than some of the other keys do, so yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But anyways, yeah, that's all the questions and answers I have for this Q&A. This is Broken Solar Panel signing off.